All right, guys, thank you for tuning in to a new episode of Trash Can Talk Podcast. Please like, comment, share, and most of all, follow. Hit the follow, subscribe button. We're here with Aaron, the Small Hands. You might know him from The Stranger Six, right?
Probably not.
Yeah, they do. Some of my followers will. But yeah, literally been friends with him since I was probably 14, 13. Now, very, very long time.
Coming up in San Diego together, you know?
Yeah, pool. My earliest memory is a pool party. I know Marbrisa was there. Does this?
You're throwing out old school names.
I
Yeah.
want to say maybe Jen Vitrano.
Gen V, Tommy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that whole squad. Yeah.
someone. Not like to make like. I remember a girl with bulbous hair.
Okay.
She dated Richie.
Oh,
She was bigger.
I mean, Richie, I still talk to Richie.
Yeah.
He's the old friend. This is all like, for those of you who don't know, this is old San Diego lore, like scene kids and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, that's kind of how we all came up, was in the hardcore and punk scene in San Diego.
And it was a mixture of like Christian punk kids.
A little bit of everything.
Integrating though. This was during the integration.
That's where
period.
I came from. I came from the church side of things, you know?
Right.
Because my dad was a fucking preacher at Scott Memorial Baptist in North Park. And
Which is insane.
so I came up like in the church scene, and then as you know, I got older and then started going out into like, you know, other hardcore and punk bands and stuff.
Were you allowed to have pool parties there? Or was that
No, absolutely.
That was at your house, right?
No, bro.
Okay.
We were not.
Whose
balling
house was
like
that at?
You know, I remember there was always like a couple kids in the scene who had like rich parents, and we were at.
Yeah.
I don't remember who they were, but we were always at their backyards and their parties. It was not mine. It was not mine.
I definitely didn't have the rich parent. I mean,
No.
we lived in Encinitas, but we had to be the poorest people that lived in Encinitas.
Yeah, well, when your dad's a pastor at a local community church, you don't make shit.
Right.
I mean, the only pastors that make money are the guys on TV and, you know, the big mega churches.
Yeah.
So we came up pretty humble. Yeah.
X Frontline X.
Yeah, that was Noah and Tommy.
Noah, Tom,
and,
yeah.
Ruben.
Oh my
Who else
God!
was
What
it?
an
Yeah.
all-star
Yeah,
lineup.
that was old. That's my favorite hardcore band ever. Was Frontline.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're so good. They made one album and it was incredible.
And then what were you in at the time of that time?
That was when I played in a band called the Stranger Six.
You were?
Yeah, that was like my first, you know, like band. But I was in a band with, actually no, my first band was
Yeah, I
called.
was gonna say I thought you
It
had
was with
something else.
it was with Tommy and Roger Molina, who was in Noise Ratchet. I think he was in Noise. I don't know. I can't remember. And that was called Positive Youth. And we sounded like Youth of Today, basically.
That I know. I remember. I was like, I know you had something before the Stranger Six.
I was 15,
Playing guitar.
14, and I was playing bass. It was the first band I ever played in. I didn't know how to play either. I just remember there was this dude we called Hardcore Josh.
Right.
And he gave me a bass, and he's like, "Cool, now you're a bass player." And I was like, "All right."
And you didn't know how to play at all.
I mean, no, but I learned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it's not the hardest one to learn.
If you want to start out playing bass in a 3-chord, 4-chord hardcore or punk band, it's a good place to start.
Yeah, I had one punk band that never made it out of the garage with these two Russian twins and this guy Massimo. And
Was that Escorts?
No,
Oh.
way.
Okay. Because that's the band that I remember you. That was like the main one I remember you being in.
The most that right now Escorts was probably. I mean, that was like 8 years ago now. I took over singing for American Tragedy.
That's right, you did.
Yeah.
I forgot about that era.
Me and John Green had a thing called Kiss Me Stranger.
I remember that.
We actually
too.
went out with Please
Mr.
Mr. Gravedigger.
Yeah, that was that era.
And that band was really good.
Oh, PMG.
Yeah. Oh, they were so good too.
So good.
There's Gasoline, Please Mr. Gravedigger.
That was the Pluto Records era.
Yeah, they were. I mean, dude, they were killing it.
You know, I still have you saved in my phone as Brandon Escorts.
No way.
Yeah, I do.
Awesome. Don Bowles loved that band.
Dude,
Don Bowles from the Germs he would DJ every show that we played.
that's pretty sweet.
It was pretty sweet.
Is that like the coolest celebrity fan you had?
You know who the coolest celebrity fan I had?
Tell me.
From doing music was Alexis Arquette.
Really?
Yeah, so I actually recorded this. I have a solo project on SoundCloud.
Okay.
And me and Alexis Arquette became like super tight. Like it's crazy too. I mean, nobody knows this. It was such a I was high at the time, but like this behind the scenes weird lore. But um, I went to jail this one time and nobody would take my phone call except for Alexis Arquette. And so I'd
It's
be
kind of a
calling.
flex.
Oh, dude, it was crazy though, because I'd be on the phone, and it's. I mean, I guess probably at the same time dangerous to be in the LA County Jail in the blues. And I remember there's this dude. No one knows this. It's so great. There's this one guy though in there, and I'm like, no, this is who. And this guy was a big like skinhead. He like was in charge of our dorm. And I remember he's like, let me talk. Like, you know what I
Let me
mean?
talk to her.
Yeah. And I was like, fuck it. All right. Well, at least we both have this weird secret and you're in charge of the dorm. And, but then, yeah, also when I got out, Alexis Arquette let me freaking stay, get on my feet one
Oh,
time.
that's very sweet.
Yeah, for sure. Rest in peace. I mean,
Damn.
iconic too.
Yeah.
So because I remember like the wedding singer,
Uh-huh.
you know what I mean? But just like the whole, if somebody's life was an art form, it was Alexis Arquette.
How did you guys even meet?
Let me think. Oh, okay. So I was at a party. Do you remember Howie Pyro?
Yeah.
R.I.P. Amazing human being. Probably one of the best DJs too ever. But he was one of my really good friends, and there was a party in the back of the Standard. Remember the back room?
In the Hollywood Standard?
Hollywood Standard, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, so he was DJing. Alexis Arquette was there. Saw me walk in. You know what I mean? I was like very young, working out all the time. Just immediately like, who are you? Like, how did you get in here? Like, why are you here?
Right.
But then became like just the coolest. So it's so I did that solo project and nobody really liked it. So I didn't show anyone because I played everything on it too.
Right. That's crazy.
But yeah, Alexis Arquette was like, you gotta this is so good. You gotta like, so that'd be my.
That's pretty good.
But it's
good.
actually a very like The Germs is like my favorite band.
Right. So that's iconic. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember once we were playing when I was in Stranger Six, we were playing at the Viper Room in Hollywood. And I look over, I'm singing, and there's this like dude who's rocking out.
Yeah.
Man, that guy looks familiar. It's fucking CeCe DeVille from Poison.
Wow.
And he was like, you guys are great. And he came out to the parking lot and fucking had a drink with us, like in our shitty van.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, you remind me of like when I was younger. And then he just like disappeared into the night. And the bartender was like, oh yeah, CeCe doesn't usually talk to the bands. Like, you guys, he really liked you.
Yeah, I definitely know this. I know when you're in the Stranger Six that you're the first person out of any of our friends to give me rock star vibes.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll take it.
because you actually like. I don't know if you were like as accepted for the sound that you were doing at the time.
Right.
It was like way ahead of the time.
It was, I mean, it was kind of pop punk, kind of rock, kind of, I don't know, like
It was
a little
more.
like Alkaline Trio. It had a little darkness, but for me as like a singer and a front man, even though that was the sound, the way I was on stage came from me growing up watching Elvis, Mick Jagger, James Brown, all like the great frontmen, and a little like with a little sass, Bowie. So even though our sound wasn't really like that, that's kind of what I was.
So it's like it was the stage difference.
Yeah, it was like, why does this pop punk band have like a guy who thinks he's Mick Jagger on stage?
Yeah, that was great. I mean, the stage presence was good. The art was good.
Thanks.
Ryan did some of the art, right?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
The pink cover, did he do that one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he did all our early stuff. Or Tommy, Ryan or Tommy, who was in the band. Tommy from Mrs. Magician and 10 billion other bands. So,
yeah. Yeah, I remember the art was really good. Aesthetic was really good. Yeah. The stage presence was insane.
It was a fun band to like be young in. Like all of my first tours were with that band. And those were like the fun ones where we're just broke, fucking stealing food from 7-Eleven because we were making no money.
Yeah.
Sleeping in truck stops, just doing crazy shit.
My first tour was with As They Dying because I took over because the EP had come out on Pluto Records, and I guess maybe it was like Andrew quit, Tim was in the band, I think he quit, and then they were supposed to tour the EP.
Was that when they were still doing like the church tours, touring in the Escalade?
We toured in the
You
Escalade.
did. Okay.
That
You
was
were part
Kiss Me Stranger.
Oh, okay. Okay.
American Tragedy had the van and the trailer.
Okay.
Yeah, that Escalade tour was
I
crazy, bro.
I remember that.
That was with I don't even remember if Please Mr. Gravedigger. Maybe they had a van.
I mean, I feel like at the time everyone was in all the same. It was the same people,
whatever.
you know. So it was like whatever.
Yeah, I remember too that we went on. So with As They Dying, that tour, some of the venues were church venues. I remember like
because in the early days they did a lot of youth group shows, a lot of church shows.
Yeah, I remember because we played with Society's Finest.
Okay.
Do you remember them or no?
Kinda.
They were like there was like Zayo, and then I think Pluto Records might have signed Society's Finest. They were really good.
Okay.
They were good. They were like, but I remember, we played like a church venue, and my fucking drug habit was so bad at the time though that it's like as soon as we got to the next city, I'm like sick and no money too. So it's like
you couldn't score, and
Yeah.
you're in, and you're just in church coming down, playing metal.
I remember playing the show and it was like amazing too
Right.
because like Pluto Records had such a grip on that Christian scene at the time.
Yeah.
So like, I mean, all their big songs everybody knew, and I mean that's like my favorite thing ever is just putting the mic out or just
the sing along.
the sing along, dude. I mean, I live like I remember being at the Shea Cafe just hanging from the rafters, knowing all like the Drats songs. I mean,
Dude, I saw the Shea Cafe, especially when we were. Is it even around anymore?
Yeah, but dude, it's never gonna be that.
I remember I saw Dashboard Confessional.
Me too. I was at that
show.
First
time at Shea.
No one was there.
I know there was like 30 of us.
Yeah.
I saw Saves the Day for the first time at the Shea. I saw fucking Bane. I saw all the hardcore bands.
Yeah.
and a lot of them, it was like the first time I saw them was for 30, 40 people at this little weird fucking cabin in the woods on the fucking university campus.
Insane.
The venue made no sense.
Who did Dashboard Confessional play with? Do you remember?
It was like a hardcore tour. I want to say
Wasn't the Hope Conspiracy?
It was something like he opened up for Converge or Hope Conspiracy.
Yeah,
or something like that.
Dude,
yeah.
And no one was in there.
Well, because it was a hardcore show, and there's this dude up there like,
my God,
like singing,
I loved
songs.
him from the gate. I thought he was the best.
I just remember I was like, that guy's really handsome.
Yeah,
like,
he was
what a
really
good-looking
handsome.
motherfucker.
Yeah,
because we're at like the hardcore show, and most of the guys are like in the camo, and they're all X'd up and the hoodie, and then here comes like Chris from Dashboard with his perfect hair, and he's
pompadour,
like singing all beautifully like an angel.
He had like he walked in with his own style, the pompadour, jeans on,
and
jean
this was
jacket.
In like 2002. This is
he had like
way
the
before,
pearl button shirt. I remember. Yeah, I seen too the Get Up Kids. I was just saying like the Dillinger Escape Plan with Dimitri, and it was the same thing. I remember who the tour was. Calculating Infinity had just come out. It blew my mind. It completely like. I was like, I love this.
What other spots? There was the Shea,
the scene.
There was Soma. Do you remember Empire?
What's on the Mirror Mesa?
That was the scene.
The scene. Okay.
The Epicenter. That was up in Mirror Mesa.
You guys played there a lot.
Yeah.
The Filipino community, that emo community, loved you guys.
Yeah.
There's kids I know that still know. Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know, right? And then what? My American
Heart was.
They
were like
the Filipino.
They were homies. Yeah.
Yeah. They were really big right there.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, so many people. Counterfeit.
Yeah.
Look, From Finish to Starting Line is one of my all-time favorite albums to this day.
It's a classic.
Masterpiece.
True classic.
Justin almost redid the show.
I know.
I had tickets.
I was considering flying out from New York to go to that.
They say they're gonna do it still. He had some health issues. And I'm always rooting for that guy. I love him.
I gotta give him a little text or a call.
Yeah, hit him up, dude, for real.
Justin, we need you, buddy. We need you.
Oh yeah, dude, please come back.
Yes.
It would make my. I'd love it. I would love, dude. At 42 years old, I would love to scream the lyrics with him. I loved how. I remember too. If you played on the ground, you couldn't see him.
Yeah.
You couldn't see who the singer was, and everybody would be just like, because your arms would be up, you'd be singing. Oh, dude, I love them. Spare Change. I literally haven't thought about.
You're going back,
right?
Okay. What's your top 5 San Diego bands
Okay.
of all time for you.
So, American Tragedy is always going to be number one.
Okay.
I mean, there's just a deep love connection. World Intruded, and there's the first. It was the first time. I remember when I saw them the first time. It's because they switched me to continuation school, and I went to school with Andrew and Ryan.
Okay.
And they're like, dude, we're playing this show tonight. Like, you should come. Because they seen that I like hate breed and everything. And I didn't know the words, but I pretended. So when they were singing,
you're like,
yeah. And I remember that was the first time I felt alive, bro.
I'm telling you.
And then I would say it's weird too because these guys, they don't even. I mean, not now. At the time, they didn't like me at all. Over My Dead Body.
Oh, Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was in a band too. It was a joke band. Me and Tim started. Evan was in it. Noah was in it. Call for Blood. We did this. Yeah, we would play. We put Mexican wrestling masks. Then we wrote a song called "Over the Cause." Where's My Dead Body Bag? And it was me talking shit about Daniel and Chris from the Cause.
You gave him a diss track.
Yeah, I gave him a diss track. I tried to start a war, but it didn't bite on it really big. But it started this huge riff and war in hardcore, which there was. I mean, the guys from Point of Recognition were mad. We made all these guys mad with this thing.
Damn.
And so, American Tragedy, Oh My Dead Body. Then it's gonna be, it would be Counterfeit. They'd be number 3.
Solid.
Scarlet Symphony.
Oh, with the twins, the Wheeler boys. Yeah. And
I mean, bro,
was it Zach and Josh, I think were their names. Yeah.
We put out on Phantoms Records the Vultures full length.
Yeah.
And then they re-released it on another record label too.
That was a great record. Great.
These guys were fucking.
I thought that band was going to be huge.
They would have been huge.
I thought they were going to be.
They would have been.
What happened?
It's like, from my outside perspective, is everyone in? Because I remember putting out. So I remember wanting to put out Vultures on Phantoms Records because I believed in it so much. And I'm not like, I mean, never have I been this rich kid, but I had a really good job. And then CJ ran it with me. And he was, the guy. He's the man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, I made good money. And so, but I'm like, I'm going to put everything that I have into this. And then I remember the just like, I don't know, like usually a band would be happy that some local kid would want to put the record out. And I just remember there being a lot of like politics at this point. And when we were doing Phantoms Records, because we did the Please Mr. Great. Okay, let me pick my last band and then I'll go in this. High School Sweethearts.
Oh, that was with
Tyler Densley.
Yeah, Tyler.
Yeah.
I remember that band. That band
He
was
actually
wild.
just sent me a gift recently.
Oh, okay. Like a physical present?
Yeah, so he sent I've been like right now I've been like losing weight because I had a knee injury.
Okay.
And he heard me on like an Instagram live saying that I was gonna fast, and then he sent me a book on the proper way of fasting.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tyler.
He's the man. I know there's a lot of people that don't like him.
I mean, there was some wild stuff that happened.
Yeah.
I don't even think I could talk about it back in the day with some. I was never involved, but I was always like at the party or at the show.
I know. I was
like,
me too. Wow. I knew every single thing.
There was some crazy stuff.
He would beat the fuck out of Tommy every time that he got on stage. It was amazing to see because like if this was back, if this was now, here's the thing. The stuff that happened when we didn't have phone cameras was insane. Like nobody holds a fucking torch. There's nothing compared on the internet.
That era, I mean, I just remember, so much fucking crazy shit that would never, it just can't exist anymore.
A lot of us would be like done. We'd probably be in prison.
And a lot of, even just like basic, like a lot of like fights at shows.
Yeah.
Fucking neo-Nazis would show up and then our squad would get in a fucking problem with them or whatever.
Yeah.
Or even the days that you remember, what was the venue next to
Zant?
Pokey's, the Rosary Room. With like the Diamond Dogs and like that whole squad. There was always shit going on.
It was really, really, really crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's such a weird. And see, I I was really I loved the thing about it is the it's like the feelings I had. You know what I mean? I can't. They could. I remember seeing High School Sweethearts and actually being so proud of my friends
Right.
for making the band because I remember they put the demo out and within 1 week, everyone said, "You make my heart beat a little louder, a little louder." Bro, it
That
was
was a hit. That was a hit song.
Dude, the whole scene learned it in like 1 week. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know, that fucking
That was a hit.
almost a 2 run for your fucking life. I
Also
just
a
gotta
good
say,
band.
like,
Also a good band.
you see that the one of 10, 12-inch I have with the razors in it?
Mm-hmm.
It's behind the mirror, probably.
Yeah. There
I
you
mean,
go.
dude, 1 of 10.
Boom.
Yeah.
Boom.
So
We're real OGs at this point,
Right.
man.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, I just saw. I mean, it's hard too though because those things were part of my heart.
Yeah.
Honorable mention is the Locust.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean,
It's just it's a staple.
You can't mention like
They go in my overall top 10.
people don't realize how many legendary bands have come.
Right.
Like there's obviously Blink.
Right.
Fucking POD.
I was on the
The
Cheshire
Locust.
Cat street team, bro.
Dude, that's crazy. I remember seeing Blink in
Dude, Jeff recorded that.
1998.
Jeff recorded that.
Yeah, and O
Double time.
And O produced it. Yeah, yeah, wild,
It's crazy.
And so
POD,
Switchfoot, Unwritten Law, Sprung Monkey, Prayers, fucking nowadays Twin Tribes. You know, like all the hard. You know, Built to Last, Over My Dead Body.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
what are your top 5?
San Diego. All right. Rocket from the Crypt, number 1 for me. Because I also, you know, I was always in the hardcore scene, but most of the bands I played in were more like rock and punk, and you know, so I was always living in many scenes in San Diego. So to me, it's also one of the only band tattoos I have. I have a Rocket from the Crypt tattoo. So I'll say them. I'm gonna say honestly, like it's corny, but fucking Blink-182, man. Like, I grew up listening to them. We all did.
Yeah.
Everybody
You
loved
ate
them.
at the places they talked about.
Yeah. So like I got to give it to them. The Dragons.
Wow.
That's a San Diego, like just real rock.
Was Amanda in that band?
No, but Ken, who plays in the Bronx now, was
Right.
in the Dragons.
Crazy.
So they were one of my favorites. I'm gonna say Built to Last, to be honest. Like, because Bert, who the singer, he used to work at the Music Trader, like down the street from me. Built to Last. This
guy helped so many of our
all my earliest hardcore shows were Built to Last shows. And then for my last one, I'm gonna say POD because I lived in Chula Vista. I lived in the same neighborhood. Marcos worked at the Hot Topic at the mall. I was like 12 and I'd go in and he was nice then, he's nice now. And it's cool because fast forward, I'm 20 something years later, me and Marcos are homies. Like I still talk to him all the time. And like, it's funny how like life brings certain people back around.
And they're making a comeback.
Yeah, and they're crushing it. So
I don't think they ever left.
They did.
They could do anything,
No, but I think they're getting like the respect now that maybe they should have had all along, you know, like they're more than just the here comes the boom.
Yeah.
You know, like that's obviously like the song that every sports, event. But like, dude, POD been making good records for years. You know? But the honorable mentions would be like The Locust, would be I mean, if we want to go like hip hop, there's Mitchie Slick. There's like, dude, I used to listen to all the old like sawed off shotgun records, like Cholo, fucking Night Owl, and like all the San Diego gangster rap. So there's legends in that world. Lil Rob. I don't know. We got a good musical history in San Diego.
The Plot to Blow Up the Eiffel Tower.
Also a good band. Damn, I forgot about that.
They really changed this. It was interesting because the Locust kind of gave us like I mean, bro, we were doing like sewer shows, you know what I mean? Like
under the freeway. And
I know a lot of people like to say like before Dead City Punks, but they are also very different things.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because like
I've been to the LA ones too.
Yeah, well, people make the comparison too, and it's like, yes, guys, I know we had our sewer shows. What Dead City Punks is doing is a movement.
Oh, it's huge.
I mean, the last one that you were there, right? Yeah, so we went.
It's so big now.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
I mean, maybe like 3,000 to 5,000 people, and they really, really, really like posted the thing. Probably like 45 minutes. We had just enough time to drive there, and boom, it just went.
Yeah.
Before they were done playing, all the streets closed. They closed the freeway behind it. You know what I mean? People were shooting fireworks at the police car.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is that it's like, this is a punk band, and if people think that they couldn't stand up for what they believe in, what I like to see there is that obviously everyone's come because they believe in this party. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's way bigger than that, and it is amazing. And I
love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. And like I said, yeah, we did something similar
on a smaller
scale, way smaller scales. But it's like, yeah, I get like,
I think that's beautiful.
A lot of people make the comparison.
You know, in this like 2026, you know, I'm getting older. It makes me feel really like warm and fuzzy inside to see that like punk is still strong.
Yeah, strong as hell.
Scene. Like I love it. Like the scene is strong. Like there's still young people who are getting into this music, exploring, finding all these cool bands, and like to see everybody like coming together in like a you know, kind of a chaotic way is fucking awesome. I love it.
I know people like some of the people watching are like, oh my God, the fucking your taxpayer money. And I'm like, I don't care, bro. It's like I love LA and I love the city. I like living in the United States of America, but that's why I like it. You know what I mean?
I think there's nothing wrong with a little sewer show every now and then.
Yeah, dude, they're doing it like once a month.
Let the kids live.
You gotta let the kids live. Now, so when you went from Stranger Six, what were you? I think Phoenix TX after that, right?
I mean, I was in a bunch of just random San
playing,
Diego
just touring.
Bands. But the biggest band that probably to date I've been in was Phoenix TX, and that was in. Fast forward to like 2011, 2012, 2013, somewhere around there. We did like some European touring, radio festivals. That was a lot of fun because I had never been in a band that had a radio hit, you know. And so I was playing bass for them. Love those guys, you know, Chris and Will and everybody. They were all my friends prior to me being in the band. So basically they had a tour in Europe booked, and I don't know what happened with, you know, the bass player, the original bass player, whoever they had in the band at the time. Yeah. But Chris Lewis gave me a call. He's like, hey man, can you learn 29 songs and fly to Switzerland for a month and a half in a week? And I was like, yep, yes, I can. Let's fucking do this.
Was that easy?
Dude, we had like 2 practices, and then I flew to fucking Switzerland, and we did a headlining tour. And I had never played in, you know, I had played big shows occasionally, but these were like, you know, sold out shows. There were like a couple arenas. It was fun. It was so much fun. And I was already a fan of the band. So I knew the songs in my head. I was like, I know these songs. Like, I listened to these records. So it was honestly one of the best times in my life. I got to my passport got filled up. I got to see tons of countries. I got to hang out with my friends and party. And it was fun. So that was like right before I got into the adult business was I was in Phoenix TX. And there was a little overlap. There was a brief, I remember, because I got into porn through my ex-wife, and she was a big star and a director and owned a company called Burning Angel at the time. And I remember we had a huge radio festival show. It was like us, Bad Religion, Tiger Army, AWOL Nation, I don't know, everybody who was popping at that time. And it was in Arizona. And my ex was like, gave me a t-shirt with her picture on it. And she's like, you know, you should wear this on stage so like everyone knows that I'm your girlfriend. And I was like, oh, that's funny. Haha. And she's like, no, you should wear this. Like she made it. So I played this fucking show. It was one of the biggest shows I've ever played, you know, whatever, fucking 15,000 people. And I've got the shirt of my porn star girlfriend on while I'm playing it. And that was foreshadowing because over the next couple of years, I joined the family business. And, you know, I never stopped doing music, but that was probably the last like band I was like touring and really like doing shit, you know, on a level like that.
Well, okay, because this is I always want to know, because like the closest I got to that was I started working event production, and I remember at one point I had to Juice World was playing on our stage. R.I.P. Guy's amazing, dude. Really good artist. But he didn't know he was new to playing these giant stages, so
It's
he didn't know
different.
that you got to like mark everything, that it's got to come out exactly where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't at the time have his touring production company.
Mm-hmm.
So us as the local production company, we had to like mark his whole
Figure
stage.
it out.
Yeah, and it was a crazy stage. He even had like a 15-foot robot that like does fire stuff that they couldn't use because he didn't
He
clear the
didn't.
pyrotechnics, but walked out on stage,
That's
and
sick.
it's just one of his friends in this giant suit. Like, but I
That's
remember bringing the stuff out, and as he's coming on, I was bringing out like a fence. You know, I was like, this is where it's set, but I was like, I was like, this is the best. It's what I wanted. It was the closest I ever
it's
got. Yeah,
it's the best high.
right.
It's the best feeling. It's better than sex. It's
Yeah,
better than drugs. Like to be on a stage that big with that many people who are
yeah.
applauding. It's
And you got people in the front looking at you,
and
right?
they're singing along the
Yeah,
words, and I'm singing them back. I'm like, oh, it's the best feeling
yeah.
ever, ever.
I've kind of like given up on it, but there's always the part of me
You
like,
never know.
yeah.
You
So
never know.
we put a music studio at my house. Got this one upstairs.
Nice.
I always think about it's like I've played with writing some hardcore albums and stuff too, but I mean everything. It's like I went to Mexico City with As Lay Dying,
Mm.
and I've been part of like them for so long too that there's you know what I mean even their people are like you're not even like on the stage and you go there and
Right,
everyone's
right.
like, oh my god, thank you so much, dude. It's crazy. I could only
Yeah,
imagine, dude.
yeah.
How did you? So you started dating Joanne.
Mhm.
You had the shirt on,
Yeah.
and then how did you even get in? Like, what was your?
Get into porn.
Yeah,
So basically, so Joanna, my ex, she was kind of an iconic
yeah, for
director,
sure.
pioneer of what they call like alt porn, which is she was one of the first ones to film people with tattoos and piercings and just not conventional
My
looking porn
friend
stars.
Zoe uploaded naked pictures on to Burning Angel
Okay,
back in the day,
okay,
so I've known of it forever.
yeah. I think
I mean, it was the first.
it was
There was Suicide Girls, and then there was Burning Angel.
yeah, both of those brands started in like 2003 or something around there. So it's the brand had been strong. So by the time we started dating, she was already very famous, very
Yeah,
well known. And I was, guy in a band. I lived in San Diego still. She lived in LA. I owned a screen printing
oh
company,
shit,
similar
bro.
to like, like
Yeah, I
a lot of the
forgot.
things you're doing. So for the first, I don't know, like 2 years of our relationship, that's all it was. I was just her boyfriend. I wasn't in porn. I wasn't in the biz. Um, and I would sometimes go to set though and, help a little bit.
Yeah,
I'd be like a PA. I'd help with paperwork. Sometimes I would be craft services. I'd be making like tacos for all the girls. Like
you're good at
yeah,
cooking.
a little bit.
Yeah,
And so being on set and watching how this industry works, I did not want to do porn at all.
really.
I got so much respect for performers. It's a crazy job,
Yeah,
and I would watch guys on their best day killing it, and then I'd watch guys
yeah,
having a bad day, and I'm like, this is a lot of pressure. Like, holy
mental.
shit. So I never wanted to be in front of like the camera like that. Plus, at the time I'm like, well, I'm in a band, and that it'll take off,
Yeah,
like, and so I eventually, though, as our relationship got more serious, I moved to LA to be with her, and I was like, I'll join a band in LA. That'll be what like it'll be fine. I know
yeah,
people, and it just kind of wasn't happening. I just couldn't get it. You know how it goes
yeah. I do
sometimes.
for sure.
And like just I couldn't find a band to join or people to make music with and do what I thought I was supposed to do. And so she was like, maybe you just help me out a little bit, because she owned the company. So
Yeah,
she's like, why don't you hop in and do a few movies, like just for free for me, like for
yeah,
just to help the family business. And it was never supposed to be like a career or any of that for me. It was literally the only reason I started doing porn was just to help her out and to save some money for us, like on the shoots.
yeah,
It's why Small Hands is such a stupid porn name. Like I picked a dumb stage name because I didn't think it would be a thing,
yeah.
And so the first, I don't know, year or two of my like porn career was just working for her. Like,
yeah.
just free, they call it a stunt cock, like I was just free labor, free talent. And I would either,
Was your whole body in it or just
no, also
everything?
I'm so tattooed, like
Yeah.
you know me even if you don't see my face.
No, yeah.
So yeah, I was like, I was in it, I was doing it, but it was only for her company. And it was like she was the director, so I would either be fucking her or she would direct me fucking someone else. But it was like for the fam.
Right.
I wasn't working for Brazzers and all the other companies yet. But then I don't know. I don't really know what was special about me or the time. Maybe it was the timing. There wasn't a guy who looked like me
Yeah.
in like straight porn at the time. And I just started to like get all these fans. And then the other companies started calling. They're like, yo,
Yeah.
can we book Aaron for this movie? We got this. And then I was like, oh shit, I guess this is like what I'm doing as a job now.
But you've always been strikingly handsome.
Thank you.
You know that, right?
I don't feel that way. And
like when you were young, you were like a 10.
Not in the early days, bro.
You were. I don't remember you not.
I used
because look at here. Let me explain to you something. And this is for me too.
Okay.
I'm a very handsome man.
You are.
So even if I gain a little weight, you're still handsome.
Yeah.
Bro, when I was fat Brandon, I was dating Brooke from Makeout Club, the first girl on the thing.
Makeout Club?
You know what I'm saying?
You did not just drop makeoutclub.com.
Shout out to Gibby. I know he'll.
Wow.
We should give Gibby the shout out. Gibby's killing it. DOS Records.
Makeout Club. Oh, is that the same?
Gibby from Panic started Makeout Club.
That's crazy.
And now he has DOS Records.
Wow, what a small world.
But yeah, so like I want to say this too is like it's weird because it didn't take me long. It didn't take me. I've always noticed this. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So what I've always realized is that when you're younger and you're handsome, you might be a little bit pudgier or whatever, but like the girls love us. You know what I mean? And that's it's just the reality of it is, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean,
if you ever had a problem, I'm telling you now,
mm-hmm.
getting girls is because you're so strikingly handsome, and you've always been. You've literally had, like you did the greaser hair.
I was a little greaser kid, yeah.
And maybe you weren't everyone's cup of tea, but there's no way that anyone could ever say, you know what I mean?
I mean, I was real shy when I was younger.
Yeah,
too, though. Like
you weren't built for it. Like
I wasn't out there getting laid.
Yeah,
none of that. Like when I was like 21, I think I had sex with 2 people.
Right.
And they were like serious girlfriends.
Yeah.
I was not out there getting crazy.
Yeah.
Which is funny because, now the job I do is, all I do is
But I feel like that's why, I mean, dude, here's the thing. Your lore of like being in this industry is how kind you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this goes from like girls that don't know you, but someone told them and them and them. You know what I mean?
Good word travels just like bad talk does too. So yeah, if you get good feedback, but I think it's also
you have good energy.
That's a good point to bring up though, especially for like guys out there listening. Your looks, matter somewhat, but it's not actually the most crucial thing.
It's not.
Like if you have charisma, if you have a fucking personality, if you can make someone laugh, if you can make someone feel safe and like comfortable to be themselves, like then you're good. You know? Like, and so I think, I've always tried to just be a decent person.
Yeah.
A decent
no, I mean,
being.
that's the one thing too about, the one thing that here's the thing. When we were younger in San Diego, I wasn't part of the Christian hardcore scene. And I feel like I even want to take some credit of like bridging the gap. A lot of the gap was bridged with that American Tragedy, As Lay Dying. They wouldn't even let As Lay Dying play at the Shea Cafe. The reason why when we were in Call for Blood that Tim and all them were wearing masks is because Spencer wouldn't let them play. They weren't allowed to play.
Christian?
Yeah. And so we played as Call for Blood. Tim Lambesis, Evan, Noah, they came in wearing Mexican wrestling masks. I wore mine for like part of the show, took mine off. But like there's something to be said about people that have a really nice basis of. So I live my life now by spiritual principles.
Okay.
And I had to learn a lot about it. You know what I mean? So I feel like growing up in it, it's like you get to learn like what's good and what's bad. And you know what I mean? Maybe if your dad wasn't like, maybe if he had a lot of rules or whatever, he probably instilled these really good values in it. And then at a certain point, you got to pick and choose of
Yeah.
what that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because look, I think I have a problem with all major religions.
Yeah.
I think they're all harmful. I think they're all full of hypocrisy. I think they all benefit a few and harm the masses.
Yeah.
But that being said, there were certain things that as I got older, I was like, well, I don't fuck with this Christian shit. But you know what? Don't lie. That's
Right.
good. Don't cheat. Don't
Yeah.
fuck over your friends. Don't be sketchy. Like, you know, like don't fucking be violent and harmful unless it's, you know, out of self-defense. You know, things like that. I was like, well, these all make sense
Yeah.
to me. These are all good sort of things to carry with me. And so as I got older, I just took the parts that I thought were good.
Right.
And I was like, well, let's just throw all this other bullshit in the trash.
Yeah.
I'll keep these parts. You know?
And it's interesting too, because like, even with like, so where I've gotten to with religion, I was raised Catholic, but my dad switched to Eastern philosophy, you know what I mean? Meditating, Buddha, all that. And it was a real, just like, what the fuck? What do you mean? Like, we did communion and all this, and you don't do this no more? It was real mindfucky to me as a kid.
Do a whole 180 turn.
Because I'm like, I love Grandma O'Connell, and I want to stay Christian with her. She's my best friend. You know what I mean? Like, what are you doing? But at this point in life, what I've realized is, like so with organized religion is any room that brings together people to like worship something bigger than themselves is in my opinion is a good thing. You know what I mean? Like, people need it. Now I see that with some of the things where you're like, oh, we hate gay people, or we hate this, or this isn't right. It's like, man, like, how are you praying to this same God that I am? That's just this pure love.
Well, there's that hypocrisy,
right? And that hypocrisy,
yeah.
But dude, this has pushed, and especially right now in this climate, people to have these people get so mad. You know what I mean? And I think at the end of the tunnel that there will be good from all of this. You know what I mean? Because like, sometimes I'll be watching, I'll read comments, and I'm like, damn, like, this person really just took the time out of the day to be hateful. And then I like click on it, and I'm like, oh, this has a comment string of 500, because they have to fight every single person. And I'm like, at a certain point in time, I hope that this hatred that it's driven them to write back 500 fucking people, you know what I mean? Because I'm sure this person does on other things. I hope that it leads them to the light. You know what I mean?
Hopefully. I mean, it sounds exhausting to spend that
It's
much
gotta
of
be.
your time on negativity.
Right.
You know, there's moments, and there's a time and a place to, you know, let it out or say what you mean. But I think that these days, the way like we live our lives on the internet is everyone, like, you don't have to pick every battle. You don't have to fight everybody. Like, sometimes it's okay to just shut the fuck up and not post anything, and not, you know, and sometimes there's a time to say something, but you don't have to do it at every turn with every, like you're going to end up fighting everyone.
Yeah. I hope though that those people
just seems exhausting.
Yeah. Hit this wall of where they're like, oh my God, like, this has taken out, you know what I mean? Because at this point in my life too, there's been some there's been some people where I remember at the time, I'm like, I'm gonna hate this person till I die. But I started to realize that it almost like a fucking, like a computer virus. It starts really just affecting every single part of my life.
Yeah.
And if I didn't make peace with them, then I'd never be to where I'm at now. This is people like my mom, my dad. And dude, it's weird too, because on the other side of it, some of them I love so deeply. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's like I had this thing towards them that I had to let go. And it's grown me so much that I my hope is that I'm like, damn, some of those people that's plagued their life. Like, could you imagine just like hating, like, if there's two gay people, you're not in the bedroom with them.
It affects your life.
It affects your whole life. You know what I'm saying? It affects, and they're just walking. Well, that's
the crazy thing, is it doesn't affect your life.
So me and you could be just walking down the street as friends, fine. Now, if someone finds out that me and you are together, which only means we're intimate at somewhere they don't ever see. Now it's like a huge, and I'm like, damn, like it's really crazy to me that this affects your whole life. You know what I mean?
And that says more about them than you.
Yeah,
That's
for
that's
sure.
projection. That's, I don't know. People are going to think what they're going to think. They're going to do what they're going to do. And as long as, look, if someone wants to have like a discussion with me,
Right.
I'm always open, because part of like living in this world as humans is we don't all think alike. We
Yeah.
don't all think the same thing. And I'm willing to engage with someone if they can be respectful, and like, we can like shoot the shit a little bit, and
Yeah.
who knows, maybe we'll both learn a little something from each other. But to someone who's just going to immediately start yelling, or I can't be in this room, I can't this, it's like, all right, well, good luck, have fun with your have fun with yourself.
Your life.
Yeah.
How's your dad with the? How is that?
We don't really talk. He loves Jesus a little more than me.
Yeah.
So he made his choice. It's unfortunate, but I'm not gonna walk around holding. Whenever you walk around through life like holding on to like this like hateful energy and
Yeah.
anger, even if it's justified, even if you have a right to,
Yeah.
it's a chain. It's like a heavy chain.
Yeah.
And the more people you walk around with all that hateful and resentment to, you're just stacking all these heavy chains on yourself.
No, yeah, for
and
sure.
You're making it so hard to it affects everything. And so the more you can let go and release those chains, man, fuck, it feels better.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that you're just gonna like hug someone who hurt you and be like, everything's cool, but it means you're not going to walk around holding on to that fucking nasty
Yeah.
darkness, And so like with my dad, I don't really know him, we
Yeah.
haven't, like 10 years ago, he basically was like, nah, you're out of the family. And so I hope he's fine,
Yeah.
like and he is my dad. So I'll give him like a base level of respect as like my father, but like, I'm not even thinking about him because I don't have time for that. I don't want it weighing me down,
Yeah, yeah,
So I
for sure.
wish him well, cool, but nah, I'm not. I don't have time to hate him. I don't have time to be angry towards him. And I did it for years, like,
Yeah.
and it sucked. It was terrible. And then when I finally just healed myself, I'm like, oh, this is better. This is better
Yeah.
this way. So that's kind of where I'm at with it.
Yeah, I had to do this like crazy. I mean, when I was went through this amends process, and it's weird because my dad. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of things he doesn't love. I remember he told me if you ever get a tattoo, you're like,
You're out of the family.
Yeah, and you know what I mean. But like, I it was weird too because he didn't even really give me a chance to maybe 3 or 4 years sober to kind of like try and have the relationship. But he wanted to meet my son, and so I had brought him over, and then like you know what I mean, and yeah, I mean, the relationship healed, but it's very.
It's different now. It can't be what it. You're both grown men now, so
Yeah.
you have like an adult relationship, and
Yeah.
it's not going to be the same as when you were a kid, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Like it's cool.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Merry Christmas. I'm bringing my son over to, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And but it was because I had the hatred of I want my dad. I want to, and I wanted to have my dad relationship that I had younger, which yeah, it'll never be that again. But I got to have the closure to. I got to accept that this is the relationship we have right now,
Right.
and this is nice. This is good. This is more than enough, and I don't have to hate you for not being what I thought our relationship would be. And yeah, and those are actually one of those things that like the chains that broke loose to where, like I said, I feel like I've made all these relationships right. And like I said, I live by spiritual principles, and I feel like now I get to like live in the sunlight of the spirit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the universal
It's like
spirit.
Jedi shit. You graduated,
And like now I get to have all the things because I've stopped hating my mom. I stopped hating my dad. I don't have hate. Even like earlier when we were talking about the baby mama drama, it just is what it is. I'm like, oh, this should make me really mad, and I think that's what is trying to be done right here.
Right.
And it's okay. All right, I see what you said. I'm taking it in. Are we done here? Can we go back to being neutral? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and it is. It's just a nice. It's an amazing place to live in. As
it's more powerful too.
it's
Like
got to be one of
you
those.
control is power. And when you have control of yourself, that's very
Right.
powerful. Most people don't.
Right.
That's why people fly off. They pop off quick. They react in a way that maybe in the moment makes sense, and then they look back and go, oh, man, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that. It's because in those moments they lost control of themselves.
Yeah.
And so I think there's something very sexy and very powerful about being able to choose to a degree how you're going to react or not react.
Yeah.
That's power. And
do you think you grew a lot switching into this career?
oh yeah, because the sex is the sex, and
Right.
obviously that's what it is. But what I've gotten that's such a unique thing that almost no one gets to do is I've just interacted with thousands of people now on a
Yeah.
very intimate level
Yeah.
where, when you're fucking naked, it doesn't matter what car you drove in on. It doesn't matter how much fucking
Yeah.
money you have. It doesn't matter how fucking famous you are. That's the equalizer. If we're both naked and we're fucking, we're now meeting in this sort of vulnerable place. And so I've learned a lot about communication with people, reading and understanding people, also just when to react in a certain way and when to be chill. And
Yeah.
a lot of that has come from my experience in porn, for sure.
Has there been like bad things that happened that made you?
Of course. There's like any job, any
Yeah.
work, there's going to be days that are amazing. There's going to be days that are normal, and there's occasionally days that kind of suck.
How do you deal with critique?
From
Was
who?
that hard? I mean, just
who?
anything. Like, hey, this morning when I pulled in, they're like, you can't park your car there. You saw our park,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's not like there's anyone here above me or anything.
Mm-hmm.
My initial reaction is like, what the fuck are you telling me? You know what I mean? Like,
Uh, having like a humble attitude and being open to critique, I think helps, because when I started in the business, I didn't know how to do porn. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like just because you know how to fuck, that's not it. Like you
yeah.
need to know where the camera is, know what the angles
Yeah,
are.
for
You need
sure.
to know how to do the performance in a certain way. And so when I would, in the early days, when I would get critiqued, I would be like, thank you. Like,
Yeah.
please tell me how to be better at this. And so I don't really care about critique from like the fans.
Yeah.
I care about the critique from my coworker.
Yeah.
If I'm like fucking a woman and she's giving me a little advice or like some finesse, I'm gonna listen and I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, thank you. Like now I'm gonna be better.
So you went into it like very
totally
open.
a totally open mind. I knew that I didn't know shit, and I
Yeah.
was like, I'm a student. I'm here to learn. So I will humbly just listen and try to do take what everyone's saying, or if sometimes a director would pull me aside and be like, all right, like that's pretty good, but here's a way you could do that position better for the camera, or here's how to be a better performer. And a lot of these people have been in the business for years, so I'm like, what you're talking about.
For
Let
sure.
me fucking listen. And then over time, you just do something enough, and if you listen, then you improve.
Yeah, definitely. And then so like with what is it like now? I mean, are you still very open?
I'm always open to, especially with my co-stars, like everyone's different.
Yeah.
So every time I have sex with someone and make a movie, it's almost like we're starting again at the beginning, because it's like, I want to know about your boundaries. How are you feeling today? Like what's, like what are we, where are we going today with this, And even sometimes with the same women, some of these women in the business I've been having sex with for like 10 years. Like we've been working together and I know them very well. We're friends. It's so cool like that. But I'll still, before every movie, we'll still have a talk and be like, yeah, let's just check in. Like anything going on, today that you're not feeling or that you are, like you got your extensions in today. Is your hair real? What are we doing?
Yeah.
And so it's like, I'm still always listening. Always open to feedback. You know what I mean?
And are you so like, because I know you're like an artist, and then you've always had a vision, and I know you like you know what I mean. It's like you're like, I'm gonna do the Stranger Six, but I'm gonna be inspired by Bowie and this and this. when you go to film this stuff too, like, um, is it like all scenes, or sometimes you just go in, do real fast, like
It's a mix. Sometimes there's a whole script, like a
yeah,
real movie, and it takes days and days. And sometimes there's a couch and they go,
go.
fuck on that, go. So it really just depends on
What do you like doing better?
I like them both.
You
I
do?
like acting. It's fun. I'm pretty good at it. It's fun to see something that looks a little more produced, like a
Yeah.
Hollywood movie. But sometimes it's fun to just get fucking nasty and just fuck. Like that's
There's
fun.
still
That's fun too.
excitement in it.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Since there's girls too that you're like excited to go work with, and
yeah, yeah. Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I wouldn't be doing this for 13 years if there wasn't some passion,
yeah.
driven behind it.
And then do you ever have to take anything to like do the scenes, or you're always ready to go?
It varies, like, and every guy is got their own routine,
Yeah.
whatever they do. I'm in my mid 40s now, getting a little older. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's going to be times where maybe, I'm a human being. Maybe like I'm a little tired that day, or
Yeah.
if we're doing something really crazy, if there's like a 10-man gangbang, and like, I know that I don't want people waiting on me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So on certain days, yeah, maybe I'll pop a Viagra, but that's about it. There's a lot other more extreme things certain guys do, but I'm fairly natural as a performer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not doing the cabbage jack or anything like that. But that's, again, like every performer has to decide for themselves what they need to do their job.
Yeah. And then like, so what's it been like with you being recently single? Does this open way more doors of who you could work with? Was there ever like
For work, no. I mean,
you've always been able to just any.
well, look, every performer in the adult business has what they call a no list. So, for any reason, if you don't want to work with certain people, you just when the director hits you up like, "Hey, I want to book you for this," you say, "Okay, yeah, and here's my list," meaning don't put me with these people.
Oh, you have that?
Everyone gets that. So, sometimes it's maybe two people work together and it just wasn't happening and what the vibe was wrong. Okay. It doesn't even have to be like
It's nothing against the person, really.
Sometimes it is, maybe, maybe a guy ignored a woman's boundaries. And
oh yeah, I bet for sure that happens a lot.
It doesn't happen a lot, but it happens sometimes, or if it's an ex, like,
Oh yeah.
for example, I'm not going to be probably working with my ex anytime soon, so she would be on my no list.
Unless the money's right. No.
I don't know about that. But it is weird. I was married for 12 years. I was with my ex for 12, 13 years. So my entire career, I've been with her.
Yeah.
I've never been small hands and been single. Like, So it's been very interesting being single now and being who I am.
Do you go on the apps?
No, never. I've never been on an app. Hopefully never will.
I just won't do it because like I don't transcend well on it, bro. You know what I mean? Like I'm a people person. So if I'm like writing what I think on an app and you can't hear my voice or see my face, and that's the biggest thing where I don't think I've ever.
Maybe I'm just too old or something, but I think apps are great for like hooking up.
Yeah.
But it's hard to. Everyone's being kind of fake on apps. You're choosing the picture. You're curating your little header. Everything is so like a business card. It's not the real you.
I've made some like Instagram friends. I've probably like I've been on a couple of the apps because I remember that everyone like that. They're like the apps. But me being someone, and it's like you're saying, like, okay, if you're someone that makes people feel safe, or you're funny, like I've always had that.
How does that translate on Hinge or
it doesn't
Grindr
either
or whatever?
Yeah.
So no, I'm not. I'm not a dating app guy, but I'm very lucky living in New York City, doing music too. The band, DJing the clubs. I meet people all the fucking time.
Yeah.
So I don't need an app to.
I bet too your DMs probably went crazy.
I got a few DMs. Yeah.
Even I did, bro, and I'm nowhere near. Yours has got to be like.
So if I want to hang out with someone, there's plenty of opportunities I have where I don't even have to go on an app.
Yeah. And then what about this? Did the pouring of like people you've worked with, hung out with, all the like over all the years, have you like explored any of those where they're like, dude, we've been really good friends, like let's go?
I got a few of those messages. You know, coming out of a relationship, you know, it's like over a decade. We had a whole life
Yeah.
together. You know, I'm not. Also, I have sex for a living, so
Yeah.
I'm not out there running around like getting crazy like that. And also, like at the place I'm at in life and my age, it's just not what I'm interested in.
Yeah.
But it's very flattering, and it's nice to know that people are interested in me. It's very nice to know people want to hang out with me.
Yeah.
You know, it's cool. It's also a little weird though, because I have like women who are more like just fans.
Yeah.
And they just want like the
Yeah.
experience. So
Yeah.
it sounds odd, but there's like plenty of women who just like want to fuck me just to say they did it, and then
Well,
you know, and that's it, and that's fine too. I'm not offended. It's all flattering to
yeah.
me, but that's probably not what I'm interested
So this one night I was with you and you're DJing,
in New York. Yeah.
and you had like 3 girls around, and I don't, man, I wish I could remember the girl's name. She was really, really nice. I still follow her too, but I remember this shit's crazy. So I remember she was really like, it was weird because like I'm watching the girls and they're like worked up. Like I think in their mind, and I don't know if this happens a lot, but I'm thinking that this girl thought maybe you would have sex with her that night.
Oh.
And you were packing up your DJ gear, and she just kind of looked over at me like, "What are you doing?" You know what I mean? I'm like,
right.
"I'm not doing anything. What do you want to do?" Went and got pizza. Went back to my hotel, or I was at Airbnb, and I mean I've never seen her again. But
So New York. That's so Brooklyn of you.
but it was almost like the residual. You know what you know what I mean? Like this lady was like worked up by just standing next to you. Had to have been a super fan.
That's
And as you
wild.
packed up and walked out,
Well, yeah,
she's like,
I'm not out here.
"Yeah,
Like,
of course you're not."
fucking
Right?
fans.
Exactly.
Like, no,
No,
you know,
no.
respectfully, no, absolutely not. Like, it's yeah, it's not. That ain't how it works.
But I'm like, hey, because here's the thing.
But you can.
Yeah, I did. And then not only that, hey, let me tell you something. So I posted a picture with him, and some girl in Brooklyn was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like, you're so good looking." It was like the sexual, just taking a picture next to you.
Glad I could help.
Yeah.
Glad I could help.
So here's my question too, though, because this is what happens. So like, I know a lot of porn stars, strippers, sex workers, trans women. My friend's initial reaction is like, "Dude, will hook me up," and I'm like, "No, they don't know.
Yeah.
They don't want it." Now, I have been out with girls that work that have, you know what I mean? And they're on vacation, so maybe they're like, "Oh, this guy's," you know. How many of the girls come up to you thinking? I mean, does this happen a lot? Like,
Sometimes. It happens more online than in person, because a
Yeah.
lot of the times in person they get a little too nervous. You know what I mean?
'Cause it's
Like
women.
everybody talks big
Yeah.
on the phone, but there's definitely been a few times where I had to respectfully kind of check a few women. Like,
Yeah, you
hey,
did that
like,
night.
you know, like you gotta, you know, like I'm a person too. I have boundaries too.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm respectful to you. Please, please give me the same respect back. But I don't look. It's like that's like not a real problem to have. Like, oh my God, so many people are so excited to want to be around me. Like, so
Yeah.
even when it's a little bit too much, I'm still flattered. So I'm not really mad about it.
Yeah.
It's just more like, especially if I'm DJing, like I've been in the club and like I've had a woman like try to like make out with me, like grab my dick while I'm playing. And I'm like, lady, I got buttons to press
Yeah.
here. Like please chill the fuck out. Like
I-
thanks for the interest, but like stop.
So the girl was asking you things, and you're like, "Yo, I'm DJing right now." Like
Like and
I gotta concentrate on
Yeah,
this.
like
I don't think it even phased you or you noticed either.
it
That night.
happens
all the
pretty-
time.
It happens
Yeah.
all the time. So I'm pretty used to it. And I do want to be, look, if anyone comes up to me and is a fan,
You're super nice.
well, you remember being young and meeting like a band or something, you know, someone you
It
look up
sucks
to,
when they're not nice.
and when they're a fucking dick,
Yeah.
you remember that forever,
It
and it
crushes
stays
you.
with you. So I don't want to ever do that
Yeah.
to a fan. Even if I'm busy, I'll try to give them 30 seconds, a minute, say hi, whatever it might be, take a picture. But there is a point where I'm like, okay, you gotta
Yeah.
move, you gotta move along now.
He like moved her over one seat, and then I was right here, and
I'm
then
like, oh, here, talk to my friend Brandon.
and I was like just single too, and it was crazy too because I was like in Brooklyn. I was with GBC,
Mhm.
so like I mean all the guys are. I mean they're doing like the Lil Peep songs. They're doing their part, bro. The fans were insane in Brooklyn in the snow, standing out there with
Yeah, because it was the winter. Yeah.
stuff for them to sign, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's that shit's got to be. I see. That's another thing too. Is like I don't. I guess kind of like I kind of do have fans now, and it is a little. It is interesting. I do. I do.
Yeah. I
There's
mean,
people that been supporting this internet people.
mhm.
It's probably nothing like. But when I got single, and like you said with the internet thing comparatively to real life,
Mhm.
I mean there was the people who automatically took the shot, like the DM, the
Mhm.
this,
Mhm.
and yeah, it's been crazy. Beans and also too, I like at the age that I'm at, and then me and Chelsea were together for like a long time, and I mean, from being someone that didn't have like a stable family, mostly because of like my addiction and this, and everyone has their weird family things,
Mhm.
but I remember too, like I'm like, oh, this is it. Like I have a kid. I'm with this person. Like I was in it. Like I was
Yeah.
with them, and I know that like I've been single probably coming up on 2 years, but at my age I'm way more dialed in this. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
what I'm building, like what I'm growing, helping the people that we're helping, growing the podcast, growing this company that's helping people like that are battling addiction, post incarceration,
Yeah.
have jobs. You know what I mean? So it's like it's a different thing. Like my it's like I have the sexual desire,
Mhm.
but it's not everything, and it's
But
not.
that's healthy.
Yeah,
That's how it should be.
I
Like,
have it.
you know, if all you do is sex, that's that's not balance.
Yeah,
It's like with anything. If all you do is eat fucking McDonald's every day, you're gonna feel it. You're
yeah,
gonna
for
see it.
sure.
If all you do is watch porn and that's the only thing you do, it's gonna affect you negatively.
Yeah,
So part of being a good, healthy human as we grow up and get some wisdom in our brains is knowing that all of these things with the right balance are what make life fulfilling and beautiful. It's
yeah,
like, you know, you should care about your friendships platonically. You should care about your aspirations and your businesses. You should care about whatever work you're doing. You should also care about your creative passions, and you should care about sex.
yeah.
And that's all part of this fucking thing we call life, you know?
And then what do you find yourself doing? I mean, has that changed too? Like, my life has drastically changed being single. I was like a stay at home dad. I was work. You know what I mean? I was like not stay at home, but I had a job. I would stop at 3. I'd come take care of the kids.
Mhm.
Blah blah. You know what I mean? My life is
I,
completely 180.
my life has changed a lot. I think honestly and I didn't even realize this because, you know, sometimes when you're in a very long term deep relationship, it just becomes normal.
Yeah.
These days I'm like, my biggest change is I have so much time.
Right.
Like, wow, I have so much more time. Like, because you know, in my marriage, I was in many ways kind of the housewife. You
Right.
know, I did most of the cleaning and the laundry and, you know, and I don't mind doing it. So I'm not
Yeah.
complaining, but I spent a lot of hours in my day focusing on someone else. And that's not a bad thing. That's in a
Right.
relationship, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
But now that I don't have that, I have all these hours in the day to just focus on myself, focus on my friends, focus on things I want to do. So it's nice in a certain way. And that's even before, you know, I'm not talking about dating or fucking anyone. That's just
Yeah.
it's just nice to be able to be like, oh, I have like a couple hours today to like do whatever I want. Like that's wild.
Yeah. And then like with the work, like right now you said you're out here.
Yeah. So even though I live in New York, I still come out to LA
Yeah.
every other month to film. Most of the big studio porn is still, here. So yeah, I'll come out, I'll work, I'll shoot. I think on this trip I shot 7 movies in the last 7 days. I got one more tomorrow to do, and then I'll go home to New York and just turn off the sex part.
How often are you working?
It varies, but I'll do like every other month or so. I'll film like for like a week and a half straight,
Right.
stack up the stuff, and then in New York, I'll film OnlyFans stuff. Just whenever it makes sense, depending on if someone's in town and they want to shoot. So for work, I'm probably having sex maybe like 15 days a month, like 10 to 15 days a month. And then like, honestly, since I have so much sex for work, when I'm off work, like the last thing I want to do is like go to a bar and hook up with someone. No, like I want to chill. If I do hang out with a woman or anyone for that matter, what I'm interested most these days is like, what's more than your sex? Like, can you have a conversation?
Yeah.
Like, how deep are you? Are you an interesting human? That's what's like attractive to me these days.
Yeah.
It's not about, I have sex with every shape, size, color. Like it's all good,
Yeah.
To me, what's sexy and what I get attracted to is what's beyond that.
Yeah.
And so on a day off, like I'm not hooking up.
Yeah.
Probably not. I'm hanging. I'm chilling.
Yeah. I realized too that like the most, if there's even any consideration of like doing anything, because so when I have sex, also I have this, I don't know what it is, but I jump up and I go out.
Wait,
Like,
what do you mean?
like as soon as I'm done, like I gotta get out of the bed and like go out.
You run the fuck away.
Yeah. So like the one thing I'm telling you, like with my kid's mom, because dude, bro, ever since you've known me, I haven't really ever been in a relationship. I've just kind of just do whatever, dating,
right.
maybe mostly just sex. But if my like heart, or I don't know what it is, if I could feel safe, it's a very interesting thing too, because like if I could feel safe to like be in the spot, then that's like the first thing. So it's almost this no talking thing. Like your energy has to match mine.
I think that's valid.
Yeah, like if I can't like, and that's the one thing so my kid's mom, we were friends we were 13. I've known her as long as I've known you.
Yeah.
As soon as I moved to San Diego, she was one of the first friends I made. And that's the thing is I always, the minute I met her, I felt safe because we used to longboard. I had a Big Daddy board that I freaking would bomb the hills with her. And
nice.
You know what I mean? And yeah, it's like first it's this energy thing, which I almost feel with no one. I think there's been 2 people since that.
That's called chemistry.
Yeah.
That's when you connect on a way that's more than just fucking.
Yeah. And then it's like if we could talk, and then there's gotta be laughter. And I have to be able to like laugh too. You know what I mean?
Yeah, these are all universal feelings. It's not just women need that. Like men need to feel safe
for
too.
sure.
We all want to feel like we can be ourselves.
Yeah.
We all want to feel like we don't have to, put on this fucking act. And so if 2 people can find that in each other, boom, like beautiful,
Yeah, it's so That's the one thing too, is just like being able to be myself, you know what I mean? And it's interesting too though, because like the longer that it's so weird to me too, because I mean I just try and figure this out more and more as I get older and like gone to therapy and everything too, that it's like then you date someone for a long time and maybe a long time you feel like that, but then like expectations and stuff happens, you have kids or you get more stuff. You know what I mean? Like I used to always think too, if I had money, then that'd solve everything.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It solves a few things, but not everything.
Dude, you're like, I'm like, I wish we were literally fucking bombing the hill on our skateboards, watching the real world on my couch. And it was so simple.
Because when you have a connection with someone like that, your favorite memories are not material.
Never.
It's not what you spent money on. It's that feeling. It's like, you go to a concert together and like maybe you spent money on the ticket, but that's not what you're thinking about. Is like, oh, we were singing and we were like arm in arm and like I'll always have that moment. That's the shit, right?
That's what when I picked my 5 bands, it was all based off of how I felt, or the feeling
how it hits
that
you.
Yeah. And even too, like I remember my favorite. This is crazy because I always think about this when I'm raising my son. My favorite memory with my dad was when he had this 1984 Nissan truck, and he would come pick. He moved to San Diego. He would come pick me and my brother up, and all three of us would sit in it in a row, and then we would drive for 2 hours, and he'd show us like Fear, the
Yeah.
Germs, the Clash. And he
That's
had the
bonding
cassette.
time, you know?
Yeah, he had the
That's yeah.
cassettes, and he made his little mixtapes, dude. And that's my all time
That's sick. Yeah.
favorite memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was the and it was the word. I remember at the time that like before I would get in the truck when I was a little kid, I was like, "Fuck, we gotta fucking drive for 2 hours." You know what I mean? Like probably not saying fuck, but
Right.
then you get in there and I was like, and it's so interesting too because I always think about like I'm super intentional with my son.
Mhm.
Like I'm like we're gonna watch this together. We're gonna go to the skate park together. Hey, when I pray,
You're building those core memories for
yeah,
him, you know, which is awesome. You know, it's beautiful.
like we go to the bounce house and I jump with them, even if I'm tired, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like I go in there and yeah, and I literally make because he's so important to me. You know what I'm saying? Like the and building that relationship, that's the best. And it's like you said, like with the naked thing. You know what I mean? He doesn't give a fuck what car I have,
No, you're just
how
dad.
much. Yeah,
You
and
know.
it's to me like it's the only like that's the kind of love that I've always. You know what I mean? I've searched for it and everything too, and it's like yeah, it's just it's that's been like so fucking amazing to be a dad because it's like you know me from it, and it's like nobody ever would have saw that, bro. You know what I
You've
mean?
come a long way, man.
Right? Like it's just like
You've come a long
they're like
way.
no one's like, oh, this guy's gonna be this amazing. There's no even me. I'll be honest. When I first had him, I was like, this is not it.
Right, right.
What the fuck did I just do?
Yeah.
Holy shit!
But look at you
Yeah,
rising to the occasion.
and it's still super hard, bro.
Yeah.
I've had him for the summer for like a week,
Mhm.
and there's days where I'm like, wait, I want to turn this off. You know what I mean?
Nope.
No, yeah.
Nope.
Like I'm like, and then sometimes, dude, and it's happened too where I'm like, I'm gonna take you home right now. He's like, but we're hanging out till Sunday. I'm like, I don't know, dude. Like, and I can't, bro. I
Yeah.
can't.
That's why I like being
He,
I like being an uncle.
yeah, I
You know, I'm
bet.
cool uncle. I
Right.
hang out because I like kids are cool, and then I give them back. Go
Yeah.
back to your mom and dad.
Um, wrap it up. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna wrap it with this one. So right now, the music stuff you're doing?
Yeah, yeah. So my band Soft Faith, kind of like our dark wave synth pop band, we just dropped an album a couple weeks ago, so you can get it on all platforms now. We'll probably start playing live like this fall, winter.
Is there anything big on the horizons? Tours?
No
Anything?
tours yet. Because since we just dropped the album, now we're like learning how to perform the album live. But like this, towards the end of the year, we'll start announcing like shows and stuff. Yeah.
What do you think about the Phoenix Flexin' song?
The what?
Phoenix Flexin'.
Phoenix Flexin'.
I hope you've heard this.
Have I?
I actually thought about you when they released.
Really? Who is that? The artist or the
Yeah.
song name? I don't think I. Are you playing it?
You
right now?
you've heard this
Have
song.
I?
What makes a daddy? Maybe it's just being the very best at what you do.
No, I do not know this.
You ever heard this?
I don't think so.
Swiping cars and stacking chips.
No.
Saw you second ships.
No.
This is a rapper.
Kind of slaps. Is he British?
No.
He's got a little like New Order, like British twang to his voice.
It's either AI or he wrote this song. I'm surprised you didn't hear.
Nah. It's cool though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sweet.
So I mean, Tyga and a lot of the Tyga just tried to release a whole album like this. This guy's releasing a whole album like this. I mean, rap's not charting right
A little
now.
more pop focused. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and so is there any artists you want to work with, tour with, anything?
I'll say Depeche Mode.
Yeah. There's none of the like the smaller ones or anything you've heard?
Yeah, no, like I really like Twin Tribes
Yeah.
these days. Night Sins, Urban Heat. There's Dancing Plague. There's a lot of great newer like
Have you heard that
wave
band
bands.
Sextile?
Yeah, they're great. Sextile's good. Wingtips. Any of those bands are all. I'm a big fan of all of them.
And then when those guys come through, are you guys gonna be trying to get on those shows this year?
Yeah, most likely because we're friends with a lot of those guys. Kyle from Night Sins is on my album. We did a song together. Yeah, so I'm sure we'll do some sort of overlap with some of that stuff.
Nice. And then there's anything else you wanted to promote?
You know, you can find me on that OnlyFans, baby, for all
yeah.
the for all the X-rated stuff. Yeah, music's on Spotify, my dick's on OnlyFans.
There you go. Well, pleasure having you out, dude.
Love you,
What an
brother.
awesome time.
Oh man.